I just want to take a few minutes and talk about introductions. It should be a simple thing, but I think a lot of candidates miss a great opportunity to start well, and by starting well, they get the marker on their side. If you can very often, I've talked to other markers about this too. You can tell straight away if the essay is any good by how good the introduction is, and generally speaking, that tends to hold true. Good introduction, good essay. But even if the essay doesn't turn out to be that good, the idea that if you can have a good introduction, it puts the marker in the frame of mind that they're looking at a good essay. And everything you can do to get the marker on your side is to your advantage. Classic introduction should unpack the title, unpack the KQ. What is it that is suggested by the title, is suggested by the KQ? What do you think the title or the KQ wants you to address? So you're defining how you're going to talk about the KQ and the title. Secondly, then, identify how you're going to approach this, the important ideas that you're going to address about your interpretation. 2 or 3 or 4 ideas that you'd like to consider in your essay, and those will later become the beginning sentence of your paragraph. Your 3 or 4 or 5 maybe main claims that you're going to make. Don't have to do that, but it's a classic sort of introduction. And then it will also probably suggest that there is doubts about this, but without going into much detail. That, hey, yeah, I'm going to look at it this way, although you know that there's things that are questionable about your approach. And lastly, you don't have to, you can actually tell them in 1 or 2 sentences what your whole answer to the KQ is, the summary, the précis of your answer to the whole KQ. Maybe 150 words. You get over that, maybe a half, 2/3 of a page, double spaced, you're going to start getting too long-winded. Get it said, get it over with. Don't waste words in the introduction. Um, don't waffle about mankind's eternal quest for knowledge or the beauty of knowledge or some vague mystical throwaway ideas, waffling about meaningless generalizations. Humans have always thirsted for knowledge since the pharaohs to the modern computer age. Philosophers have often offered definitions of what is truth, um, and then identifying how you would determine truth, and you can just go on and on and on. Very often, I've told students, don't write your introduction you can plan an introduction so you know where you're going, but don't actually write it till you've written the essay. And once you've written the essay, then you can take any sort of, that warm up stuff about the meaning of life and the quest for knowledge is going on forever. All of that stuff can be left out because you know what you want to say straight away. It often feels like the candidate is warming up their handwriting. I'm going to get going here. I've got a few ideas, but I need to get the brain going. If you write it later, that's fine, and it might prevent you from wasting time and wasting words. Now, that's a classic introduction. And that's what I could say about that. On the other hand, some of the best essays I've seen tend to ignore a little bit what I've just said. Um, they introduce a bit of flair and style, but still get the point across. They had a bit of flair and style to the introduction at the expense of the classic approach that I've just said. I like that, but be careful. Okay, I've seen some that jump right into the essay, go straight into the body of the essay, and maybe then a couple of paragraphs down, or even the second paragraph, they then sort of say, and here's where I'm going with all this. They jump right in and then sort of backtrack and lay the pathway ahead for the marker. That introduction is actually giving a message to the reader, the marker. Here's what the essay is going to cover. It's a signpost itself. It's a marker for the marker to know what it is and where you're going with this. I've seen other good essays with flair and style where they begin it with a dramatic incident, a fight they had with their mother at home, or their dispute with their grandfather, or an incident from their life or from Cass. And then the rest of the essay is so they've given a real life situation. Don't make those up. Just tell the truth. Um, and then they unfold the essay around that incident and tie everything back to that incident. Now I know that's pretty vague, and you got to be a pretty confident in what you're thinking and your writing ability to do that. I can remember one I saw. It was most enjoyable essay I've ever read, and very insightful. The candidates started off talking about how they got out of bed in the morning, and the whole essay, they went through their day, got up, brushed their teeth, talked to mom, talked to dad, then went out the door and went to school and did this. And at every step along the way, there was always a little bit of a tie. There was a big tie back to the essay itself. To the KQ itself, to the ideas they want to address in the KQ. Now that was a pretty bold move, and it worked really well. Um, um, I've seen essays begin with a conclusion. What's your answer to the KQ? And that's how it starts. Bang! Then it's into the essay. Um, I've seen some where they've gone in and they've interpreted the title and they focus on maybe one word or one idea and go very deep into that, which means in the introduction they're saying, this is why I've pursued this approach to the essay. So it's largely explaining why you're going to do that approach. And not unacceptable is I've seen a lot of good essays where they just simply give you their interpretation of the title and then they launch in to their essay. The title is inviting me to consider what truth and falseness are and whether they remain the same across time in different areas of knowledge and maybe in different cultures. So actually, they've laid out what they're going to look at there. And so they actually have, in what's that, 40 or 50 words, they've given you where they're going and they've spelled out what they're going to talk about in the essay. That's it. Then they're into it. So that's just an abbreviated version of the classic introduction. Okay. Good luck. Easy way to get the marker on your side is to start well. Alrighty, bye-bye.